A baseline level of worry is actually a sign of mental fitness. In your 20s, a small amount of stress provides a necessary kick. It's the engine that keeps you moving through the day. Without that slight tension, life loses its momentum. However, a problem arises when the proportion of your thoughts begins to shift. You move from worrying about a specific task to worrying about your entire existence. If this imbalance reaches a point where 95% of your mental energy is consumed by negative projections, you've crossed the line into a state of clinical anxiety. This shift creates an immediate physical reaction. Your thoughts begin to move with the possible to focus on the present. You might feel your heart rate spike, your sleep cycle vanish, or even experience a strange numbness in your hands and feet. Many young adults experiencing this assume they have a character flaw or a weak mind. But when you look at the mechanics of the brain during this spiral, it becomes clear that this state is an illusion generated by a biological system that has temporarily lost its equilibrium. To understand why this happens, you have to look at your age. In your early 20s, your hormones are constantly fluctuating, creating a volatile internal environment that colors how you perceive the world. A 50-year-old stays calm not because they are inherently wiser, but because their biological systems have stabilized over decades. This hormonal volatility makes you the perfect host for the catastrophizing loop. Imagine a simple, everyday event. You are sitting at a cafe with a friend, and you notice someone at a nearby table holding up their phone. Your brain ignores the hundreds of mundane reasons for that phone being out. Instead, it builds a logic tree that starts with the most alarming assumption. That person has recognized you, taken your photo, and is about to send it to your parents. From there, the internal narrative expands. You convince yourself your father will have a heart attack from the shock, the entire neighborhood will see the image, and your social standing will be destroyed before the sun sets. While your mind is building this tragedy, the reality is likely much smaller. That person was probably just twisting their face into a selfie, completely unaware that you even exist right there. This is how the loop works. A young adult's biological engine takes a single unverified detail and inflates it until a harmless moment feels like a life-ending threat. We see this exact same distortion in the world of academic pressure. Candidates standing outside the UPSC gates are dealing with more than just a difficult test. They are battling a brain that is actively misrepresenting the stakes of the exam. Look at the actual data from the 2023 prelims. Because the paper was so difficult, the cutoff dropped to a historic low. This grid shows that a candidate only needed to get 38 out of 100 questions correct to clear the general category. But if you are in the loop, your brain won't let you see those 38 squares. It forces you to fixate on the 62 questions you didn't know, convincing you that you failed completely, even if you are technically on the path to success. If this level of stress remains constant for more than 2 weeks, the situation changes. At that point, the catastrophizing loop can settle into a state of clinical depression. Depression is a state of total paralysis. It isn't a lack of willpower, it's a biological shutdown where the simplest tasks, like getting out of bed or eating a meal, feel like they require impossible amounts of energy. When students treat these symptoms as a joke, they ignore a very real biological crisis. This isn't a phase you can simply laugh off. It's a physical threat to your ability to function. There is a hidden benefit to surviving your first major anxiety attack. Once you experience the racing heart and the sleepless nights and realize you are still standing the next day, you build a form of psychological immunity. You learn that the attack is just a feeling, not a terminal event. However, in the middle of that first spiral, many students make the mistake of calling home for relief. While parents want to help, their presence often acts as a second source of anxiety rather than a cure. This happens because of the different ways parents process your stress. A father might try to motivate you with rewards, promising a bike for a pass or threatening a manual labor job for a failure, which only adds more weight to the exam. Meanwhile, a mother's unconditional worry can mirror your own, causing her to panic the moment she hears you are struggling. To actually break the catastrophizing loop, you need a circuit breaker that doesn't carry the weight of family expectations. You need a circle of friends who don't care about your rank or your results. The most effective treatment is remarkably simple. Spend 1 hour with a friend, eat a meal, and commit to a conversation that has nothing to do with exams, your parents, or your future career. This unfiltered social connection is a powerful tool. It forces your brain to stop projecting a catastrophic future and anchors you back into the immediate, manageable reality of the present.